everyone's selling something at South by Southwest. A new album, an indie film, a tech startup. But the place that once launched things like Twitter and Foursquare is now introducing you to people like him.
The opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math.
That's presidential candidate Andrew Yang. He's here to sell himself. Never heard of him? That's kind of why he's in Austin. It's hard to imagine candidates making inroads at Coachella or Burning Man, but they're all here in Texas. Like Iowa State fairs and New Hampshire diners, is this the new mandatory campaign event? They're on stage, they're in documentaries, they're hosting town halls. And if politicians make a good impression here, word travels.
It's a little bit of Hollywood, a little bit of the tech and venture capital world, the political world, and it's all here together in a way that it doesn't come together many other places.
That's Michael Lee. He's originally from Texas. Now he works at NYU studying elections. Politicians soliciting support from young tastemakers, that's nothing new. But the fact that it's happening here, that's a sign of the times. South by Southwest was just an indie music festival back when it launched in the late 80s. It expanded to film and tech as the internet became a thing. Then in 2007, Twitter blew up with a successful coming out party there. And after Obama spoke in 2016, we saw Booker, Bernie, and Beto also come through. This year, seems like everyone from Washington is invited, and they're all auditioning for the title of Most Relatable.
I like Drake, I like Bieber. I think I know more about music than my daughters do.
And there are some other lesser-known names that don't quite roll off the tongue yet.
I didn't even know about Pete Buttigieg.
I can't remember his last name, but...
Buttigieg?
Yes, exactly right.
Say it with me, Buttigieg. The Indiana mayor might be a South by success story. I mean, he raised $600,000 after his CNN town hall here in Austin. Though if anyone could use some buzz, it's John Delaney. He's the former congressman from Maryland who's already been running for president for almost 2 years. Why start that early?
Because I think I'm the right person for the job and I have the right vision for the country, but not enough people know who I am.
For 2020 hopefuls like Delaney, South by is a chance to really gain recognition, especially when the polls look like this. Actually, when you look at all the other candidates who've also announced, over half showed up in Austin. How much did President Trump factor into your decision to run?
When he won, which to me was a punctuation of decades of terrible politics, I said we got to start thinking differently about everything.
When you say terrible politics, you talking about Democrats and Republicans or just one side?
Just horribly divisive politics, right, that has basically caused most Americans to think their government doesn't work for them.
An NBC News Wall Street Journal poll says 38% of Americans believe the country needs a third party. Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz hopes that works in his favor if he runs. So the main critique that you've been fielding is that there's a potential for you to siphon off precious votes from the Democratic candidate.
If there's going to be a spoiler, it's going to be a socialist, left-leaning Democrat. Those lifelong Republicans do not want to vote for Donald Trump, but they will not have a choice. But if I am in the race, I've come to believe that they will vote for me.
Do you think that you would have been met with this much animosity if Trump weren't in the White House?
I think he's such a divisive figure. But if we take a state like Texas, where I've been all week, if Donald Trump loses the state of Texas, chances are he will not get to 270. So if I enter the race, which I have not decided to do, but if I do, Texas for the first time could really be up for grabs. That's the other big draw of South by Southwest, the location. Democrats really want Texas. They haven't won a statewide contest here since '94. But that could change. Beto's tight race against Cruz helped put it back on the map. In many ways, South by felt like a mini caucus, a dress rehearsal for the real thing next year. Ironically, the person who drew some of the biggest crowds here isn't even old enough to run for president, but she is disruptive, and that's what sells at South by.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.